Look up in almost any modern city, and you'll find the architecture of an invisible web. 5G infrastructure is the unavoidable backbone of the 21st century, linking our homes, our bank accounts, and our relationships. We process our lives through these glowing rectangles. It's a constant cycle of capture and validation that requires our full attention, often leaving us more connected to the device than the people standing right next to us. But zoom in on a specific patch of rural India, and that omnipresent signal completely vanishes. The digital revolution simply bypassed them. In an era where a Wi-Fi connection feels as essential to survival as running water, finding a community entirely offline forces a pretty uncomfortable question. What exactly does normal look like without it? Instead of a blaring smartphone alarm, morning here begins with the actual sun hitting tiled roofs and mud walls. There are no unread emails waiting in bed, no group chats blowing up overnight. There is only the genuine, unbroken quiet of a day starting on its own natural terms. It immediately makes you wonder how a community organizes itself, pays for goods, or shares vital news when severed from the global grid. The village functions as a living alternative, a society operating through physical proximity, while the rest of the world moves towards the cloud. The local economy runs strictly on horsepower, or more accurately, ox power. Every furrow in the dirt is carved by human hands and animal labor, operating with zero reliance on supply chain tracking apps or automated logistics. Growing up here means playtime happens entirely outside the algorithmic feed. Entertainment is improvised, heavily physical, and deeply interactive with the landscape. When you can't query a database for agricultural advice or a local history, you ask the elders. They serve as the community's search engine, a living repository of collective knowledge. Without digital tools mediating every transaction, human-to-human reliance expands. The community fabric strengthens to fill the space where technology usually sits. Looking at this topographic map of the region, the reason for this digital blackout becomes purely economic. The rugged terrain and sparse population make it a financial non-starter for telecom companies to drag cell towers up the mountains. It's a systemic isolation. Watch the state power grid and paved roads approach the region. They push out toward the mountains, but abruptly hit a wall miles away from the village limits. Life here offers an immunity to the noise of the global news cycle and digital misinformation, though it comes at the cost of modern educational resources and healthcare. This is the harsh developmental paradox. The same geography that insulates their social traditions from digital noise also keeps the youth from accessing the tools of the future. So, if we were to drop a fiber optic cable into the center of town tomorrow, are we rescuing them, or are we destroying a peaceful way of life? On paper, the answer seems obvious. Modern healthcare diagnostics and access to basic education are universally recognized human rights, and today, those systems require a reliable signal. But with that signal comes the inevitable flood of modern anxieties, the constant distraction, the social media comparison trap, and the erosion of cooperative culture. True progress requires incredible nuance. Pasting a high-speed router onto every corner of the Earth without anticipating how it fractures local social structures is a major blind spot of the information age. We started by looking at a world held together by invisible data streams, compared to a village held together by actual people. Perhaps the word connection needs an update. Maybe it shouldn't be measured by megabits per second or signal bars, but by physical presence and who shows up when you need help. The village acts as a comparison for the hyper-connected world. It exposes the mental weight of digital maintenance, a load that doesn't exist here. Because while we continually invent ways to transmit data faster, the things we actually need to survive, community, quiet, and a sense of belonging, remain stubbornly, perfectly analog.